Hey, welcome to the Cinematic Flashbacks.
Today I'm going to explain The Last Kingdom, Seven Kings Must Die. Let's go. Onlaf, a Viking lord from Irland, shows up with his military in Northumbria in the wake of discovering that Edward, ruler of the Old English Saxons, has fallen seriously sick. Edward before long passes on, abandoning 3 children, none of whom were named as his etheling. Edward's widow woman Egifu and most youthful child Edmund escape to Bebbanburg, where Edward's previous partner Uhtred lives. Albeit resigned from war, Uhtred is educated that Edward's oldest child Ethelstan will probably go after his more youthful sibling Elfweard and makes arrangements to stop him. Prior to leaving, that's what Ingrid prophesies 7 rulers should bite the dust before Britain is to be joined together. Uhtred arrives at Egilsburg, where Elfweard gets ready to protect against Ethelstan's approaching assault. Ethelstan, who is being impacted by his guide Ingelmundr, before long shows up and frustrates a snare set by Elfweard. Uhtred persuades Elfweard to give up calmly, however Ethelstan quickly kills him and slaughters his men. Ethelstan is delegated lord of the Saxons, and Ingelmundr, who is furtively Ethelstan's sweetheart, urges him to satisfy his granddad's fantasy about joining Britain and all Christians. In Eoferwick, Ethelstan requests that all unfamiliar lords offer him recognition or face victory and constrained immersion. Uhtred shows up and witnesses the annihilation of agnostic landmarks prior to discovering that Lord Hywel has submitted to Ethelstan after his child is kidnapped. Uhtred then, at that point, finds Ethelstan's relationship with Ingelmundr and accepts he's being misled. Ingelmundr furtively plans to have Uhtred killed, yet he's cautioned by Aldhelm and escapes back to Bebbanburg. Aldhelm is hence named a backstabber by Ethelstan and hanged for his activities. Ingelmundr shows up at Bebbanburg to take the palace, however uninformed that Uhtred had gotten away, he's immediately caught. Ingelmundr later persuades a worker to bait Uhtred into a snare, where he is caught by Ethelstan's men, driving Osbert to give up Bebbanburg. Osbert and Edmund are kidnapped and shipped off Thelwheel, while Ethelstan, unfit to kill Uhtred, expels him from Britain. On the Isle of Man, Onlaf has a social event of lords with Sovereign Domhnall and the leaders of Strathclyde, Orkney, Shetland, and Man, cautioning them of Ethelstan's looming triumph. In spite of the fact that they at first downfall the proposal of aligning with an agnostic, Ethelstan sets out upon an attack of Scotland, constraining Lord Constantine and different rulers to frame a partnership. A debilitated Uhtred is tracked down by the Danes and taken to Shetland, where he discovers that Ingelmundr is a Danish covert operative and meets with Onlaf and different rulers who demand that Uhtred kill Ethelstan to keep away from war. Uhtred goes to Wintoncester and fruitlessly persuades Ethelstan to stop his victory. Uhtred then, at that point, gets back to Bebbanburg, just to gain from Egifu that Onlaf had sacked the palace, and fixed Ingrid and the common folk in a cavern to choke. Ingelmundr slaughters his own men at Thelwheel, and Uhtred later shows up to find that Osbert and Edmund had figured out how to remain stowed away and get by. A contrite Ethelstan buries the hatchet with Uhtred and plans to stop Onlaf's collusion, yet rejects any assistance. Realizing that Ethelstan will probably bite the dust, Uhtred and his partners head to confront Onlaf, who has amassed his powers at Brunanburh. At the clash of Brunanburh, Uhtred and Ethelstan's powers are vigorously dwarfed and make a strategic withdrawal, permitting Saxon mounted force to flank from behind, and in the mayhem, Domhnall and the offspring of different rulers are killed. Subsequent to seeing Ingelmundr assault Ethelstan, Uhtred is seriously injured while endeavoring to help him. In the consequence of the fight, different lords rapidly forsake Onlaf and a hostage Ingelmundr is executed. Ethelstan helps return a seriously injured Uhtred to Bebbanburg, and Finan infers that the passings of Edward and the 5 beneficiaries, 5 rulers who won't ever be delegated, just to some extent satisfy the prediction that 7 kings must die, while Uhtred guesses that he will be the 7th because of his informal title of Lord of Northumbria. Uhtred consents to swear Northumbria to Ethelstan in return for Ethelstan consenting to make Edmund his only successor, making him the main ruler of Britain, satisfying the fantasy of Ethelstan's granddad Lord Alfred. Apparently very nearly demise, Uhtred encounters a dream of Valhalla where he sees a few of his departed partners hanging tight for him.
Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing.